Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another episode here on our podcast, Talking Female Health with Amy and Lisa, with my lovely co host, Amy Connor, and me, myself,
Hello.
Lisa Yara. Both heavily invested in the female health sphere and well being. And one of the probably simplest and most overlooked way to our well being is the breath. And that is what we are going to be talking about today. Also, because, and I recently talked about that in a video, it's like you can go without food for a week. You can go without drinking for a day or two, but you can't go without breathing for much more than 3 minutes if you're not really well trained. So that's how important the breath is. And it can be a lifesaver through challenging times in life. It's a powerful tool to help our nervous system regulate and soothe and come back to a place of safety in ourselves, which is especially important as right now the world is on fire, like literally and how do you say, figuratively?
That's it, yeah. The word.
But the world is really on fire, and it can be hard to know what's what, to know how to support ourselves, let alone our families through this, or our loved ones through this. And we want to give you a few tools how you can care for yourself and care for your loved ones. You can teach them how to breathe well after listening or watching this video. Yeah, so the breath, an important friend and ally in life.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as you said, Lisa, it's so accessible. We all breathe. We all have the ability to breathe, and it is there for us whenever we need it to connect to ourselves. Because I feel that when all the crazy things that are happening in the world are occurring around us, it's so easy to forget that you have the wisdom of your body and the ability to connect to her and the safety of her. Like, I personally feel when I connect with my body and with breath in the moment, when I'm feeling the overwhelm, the negativity, all the mess that's happening, it makes me realize that I do have safety in my own body. And I think that that is something that I've learned over the years. It's taken a while to achieve that. But if you're potentially starting off on this journey of creating a safe space in your body, then starting with your breath is an amazing place to start, because it's going to do so much for you and your body. It's going to activate the vagus nerve. It's going to, like, literally bring you to yourself, which I think I've talked about this before. I know we've definitely talked about this before. Coming back to the body and just making space. And the beautiful thing about breath work is you can do it anywhere without any tools, without any resources. And it's so quick. It's quick, it's discreet if you need it to be, and it's really effective.
Yeah. And while we're at it, what exactly is the vagus nerve, Amy? Tell us about it, and why is it so important?
Yeah, so
And how is it connected to the breath?
we haven't talked about the vagus nerve before, I don't think, on this particular podcast.
We might have talked about it, but if there is anyone who, for whom this is the first episode, let's just recap.
Yeah, so your vagus nerve is your 10th cranial nerve, and it starts roughly behind your ear. And the word vagus comes from the Greek the Greek word for vagrant. So if you like, I like to think of it as the wandering nerve. It literally like just explores nearly all of the body. So it comes down into the throat, down, it's connected to the heart, the lungs, hence why it helps with the breath, all the way down. And for women, it ends in the cervix. So when we are taking breath, we are obviously engaging our lungs, which is engaging the vagus nerve. And the magic of the vagus nerve is that when we activate it, it helps the body get into what we call the rest and digest nervous system response. So as I was saying before, when we're listening to all the craziness that is happening in the world, whether that's, we're watching the news or whatever the source is that it's coming to us through, our bodies are naturally going to respond to that. Our nervous system is going to think, oh, there's a bit of a threat, I don't feel safe, and your nervous system will respond. When you activate your vagus nerve, in essence, you're reminding your body that you are safe and allowing the nervous system to go into that space of safety. And I love the term rest and digest, because to me, that just sums up that when you're in that state, your body can do everything that it needs to do. Because when you are feeling safe, everything in your body, in your ecosystem that is your body, that's all working together, can do it to the best of its ability. So when I say when you're breathing in a specific way, which we're going to talk about in this podcast, you are in essence activating, connecting with that vagus nerve and telling your body, your nervous system, we're safe, we're okay. Have you got anything to add to that description?
I was just thinking, yes, this activate may be misleading. I've started saying I'm stimulating the vagus nerve, so the rest and digest response can start happening. But yeah, this is such a crucial importance, a state we want to be in, not all the time, because it's okay when the nervous system gets activated every once in a while. Stress can be positive, and we have to counterbalance it with an appropriate amount of rest, so that the body can do its rest, digest, repair, maintenance processes well. And also what happens is, when we go into this relaxed state, we can then respond to outside stimuli versus simply react out of this, I'm triggered, I don't know what to do, and now I'm reacting to something, even though that might not be the way I want to act, but I'm doing it because I'm already at full capacity. And so when you get the chance to take a few deep breaths, activating the lungs, thereby also massaging your belly organs, so the vagus nerve not only in the lungs but also in your gut and everywhere in the belly gets stimulated, let's say, that can help your system settle down and your field of vision to open. Because when we're in stress, we usually get tunnel vision. We are not creative. We try to survive. And that is all. The next bit of survival is everything your brain can concentrate on. So to widen this perspective again, to almost lean back into the body, that can help you discern, okay, given this circumstance, how do I want to respond now? That gives you the power of choice, which feels very empowering, because usually we feel we are, like, things are being done to us. We are the victim. We don't have the power or ability to make choices. And this can help you really feel, okay, I have a choice here. And even if I can't change my outside circumstances, I always have the chance to change my perspective or my thoughts or something internally to make it easier for me with this situation.
Yeah.
And this is, sorry,
No.
but this
Right,
is
no.
so important right now when, as we say, the world is on fire, we are bombarded with an onslaught of news that are full of hatred and war and all these things. And I personally believe the wrong way would be to, oh, I just block it all out. Oh, I don't listen to the news at all. Oh no, I can't be bothered with this low frequency stuff. Because we live in this world, our body lives in this world. So our body will pick up on it or not, like whether our mind focuses on the news or not. Your body will know because it's connected to everything, to the world. And that's why it's so important to increase our capacity to be with that shit.
Yeah.
Basically.
And I am one of these people that actively doesn't watch the news. I don't listen to the radio, anything live where there'll be an interruption of any news. But like you say, Lisa, that is because I have learned that my body will respond either way. And again, this is something that took me a while to work out, that, excuse my language, but the shit that I'm hearing about isn't the only shit that's going on in the world. Like, it's just what this particular media channel wants me to focus on. So I know that my body responds to everything, like even stuff that consciously I'm not aware of. So I think that's a really, really important point that you've brought forward there. Like, yes, you can choose to be ignorant. I don't really like that word, but tune out, block out, la la la. Like I always say, I live in my little bubble. But what I mean by that is I have an awareness that my body is responding to things anyway. And I think where some people get trapped, and I definitely got in this space for a while, was where I was like, okay, I know I'm really sensitive. I know that I'm feeling things really deeply. So I'm just going to stop watching it, like listening to it. I'm going to get in my bubble and la, 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 ignorance is bliss. And then having that awareness that actually the body knows and the body holds on to it. And going back to talking about the vagus nerve, like
before you go there, just add something real quick, because I knew this would be coming up when I make such a bold statement of don't block out everything. I think what you do, and I say that because we talk a lot outside of this podcast too, and I know that you are very informed. You have an understanding of what's going on in the world, which means that on some level you do get some news. Maybe if it's just because for me, that's, for example, through talking with my husband.
Yeah.
But you have an idea, but it's a selective, like you take in the information in a selective, almost strategic way. You decide what you pay attention to and how much you can pay attention to now. And then you say, no, stop. Now I will return back to the body so that I don't get too activated. But you still know a lot. That I know for a fact from just talking to you.
Right. I'm laughing because there's been times where I couldn't name the Prime Minister of the UK. Like I just was like, and I think there was a time where nobody knew what was happening. But like I'm laughing because I do have a level of ignorance that I know some people would view differently. But as you say, I do have an awareness. But I also know that at any one time, I'm only being exposed to a selective agenda. And that's what I say no to, like, because I know that there's bigger issues going on, like I say, that we don't even get to hear about. And we were just talking before we hit record as well about all of the amazingly positive stuff that is happening all the time, like every day on a small scale to huge scales that we never get to hear about. And I think we need to remember that as well, because the body has an awareness of that as well. And this is what I was saying about when you were describing the vagus nerve. For me, how I would describe it for myself is I am somebody who suffers with claustrophobia. So there are times when I just need to get out of a space. If there's too many people, or if I've just been there for too long. At the moment, current time of year, if I'm too hot, like I get, oh my God, I need to get out, I need to get out. For anybody listening who can relate to that, when I connect with my body and, tell my vagus nerve that I'm here, the description I would have is that it opens up space. And when it opens up that space, it's like when you're having that claustrophobic moment, when you're feeling like I really need to get out right now, and you get that space. And when you're in that space, everything makes more sense and is less overwhelming. And like you said, the tunnel vision goes away. And then I have this awareness of, yes, I've just heard about this really horrific thing that's happened. But let's not forget about all this other amazing stuff that's happening. Like all of the really deep friendships between, kindness that's happening between strangers, and everything that we are told or not told about, should I say, like just blinded to. The body, I don't want people to feel, yes, the world is on fire, like that's what we've said, but there's also so much firefighting going on, like that we just cannot perceive because we don't focus on that as a society. Just recently I've started following one or two Instagram accounts that basically just share good news, and it's like sometimes it's on a political level, sometimes it's just like, oh, this person did this really nice thing for this elderly person, and it's like that fills my cup up and gives me that space. And I think that's really important to remember that as well, because yes, it is when we hear about the fires that we need to step into creating space for ourselves and to know that it's not the only thing that is happening in our world. And if you are listening to this, then I can guarantee that you are a firefighter, and every day you are doing amazing things for the collective of our planet. Even if that is just believing that there is, sending out love, hope, joy, like being high frequency.
Praying.
And yes,
simple
exactly,
prayer for the world.
Exactly. So I just wanted to say that because I know that it can be a little bit overwhelming if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've put this podcast on, and then they're talking about the world being on fire and everything. But no, like you are part of the solution. We all are.
And also the other thing about fire is fire can be extremely cleansing.
Yes, yeah, like exactly. It's powerful, really powerful. And as a species, we've needed it to survive. So yeah.
When you were talking about how it creates the space, I was immediately sigh of relief, big breath. My body started relaxing. So let's do it. Let's try what the breath can do for you. So in case you are watching or listening and it is safe for you to do so, close your eyes. If you are driving or walking down the streets, please don't close your eyes. Or if you don't feel safe closing your eyes in any way, shape, or form, don't close your eyes. But then maybe just bring your attention to your body. Notice where you stand, sit, lie, whatever you are doing right now. Sense the connection between your body and the ground, wherever your body touches the ground. And take in a breath. filling your lungs and your belly. And breathing out twice as long. Taking in another breath, expanding your rib cage into all directions. And breathing out twice as long. And another one just like this, breathing in. And breathing out twice as long. And then sense if your body feels a little differently, if you feel a shift or something happening on some level. And then when you're ready, open your eyes again if you had them closed. And Amy, what would you say? What happened for you just now?
I have so much space right now. Yeah, for me, I just feel so calm, more positive, and so much more connected to myself. Yes, thank you.
And now we must be aware that we are sitting in our comfortable homes at the moment. So in case you as the watcher or listener do not feel this instantaneous calm and peace as quickly or as much, that is okay.
Yeah.
Chances are your nervous system has been activated quite a bit, and you might need to do this kind of breathing longer, or when you are in a place where you feel safe also outside of yourself. And when you try it, let us know. We want to hear. Drop us something in the comments so that we know how it was for you, how it worked for you. If you feel different, what is different, what has shifted. But let's have a look at what exactly we did to understand why it's important how we breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I will start with, one thing is, like I said, expand the rib cage into all directions, because that ensures that you use your diaphragm to breathe. The diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle at the bottom of your lungs, at the bottom of your rib cage. And when it extends downwards, the air can stream into the lungs. And then when it goes back up, it pushes the air back out of the lungs. And with this movement comes the massage of the belly organs and the vagus nerve, stimulating the vagus nerve, which then says to the brain, hey brain, we're safe. We can relax now. Amy, anything you want to share about this type of breathing?
I think from what you just talked about there, like the importance of allowing movement within the body, and we've talked a lot about space. Like when you're doing diaphragmatic breathing and you are breathing with your ribs out, like you just said, and also filling your abdominals, like breathing in and creating space within the body for all those organs, all of that blood flow, lymph flow, everything that's going on. And a lot of the time, we are scared to take up space, or it doesn't feel comfortable for us. And again, given what we're talking about, like with everything that's going on in the world, it can feel that taking up space is scary. So starting to do it within your body, and I always talk about with the abdominals as well, like we are taught or trained or conditioned to have, you know, a nice flat stomach and to not have any resemblance of a stomach. So when you're being asked to breathe into it and literally push it out, it can feel very alien. You're like, oh, this is everything I've been, you know, sometimes it can be the complete opposite of what breathing in means. Yeah, so taking up space literally within your body is creating, like you said, that massage, that movement. It is literally a gift to your body that it is, there's nothing about it that your body is not going to like. Like it's such a gift. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually even, it stimulates your lymphatic system, it stimulates your digestive system. There are 2 episodes that we have recorded about each of them, so go back and definitely check them out. But like with one simple practice of breathing like this for just a few minutes every day will work your whole system basically. And as you say, creating the space, and before you described how sometimes you can get claustrophobic, which is also like then you're widening the space again, and then suddenly you feel more spacious in and out. Nasal breathing is something that we might want to add. So breathing in through the nose, maybe breathing out through the mouth if that helps. Sometimes it can help to sound on the exhale, to release tension, to release stuck energy. But basically it can be this simple, and we have to believe that it can really be this simple. To breathe well, to care for your whole system, and especially for your nervous system.
And it's like I said at the beginning, it's so quick and easy to do. So, you know, you can gift your body this at any time of the day. Maybe you might want to start your day, like before you get out of bed, with some nice deep breaths, just connecting in with yourself before you have to jump out of bed and start all your routine and what the world demands of you. And one other thing that I will add is placing your hands on your chest. If you put one on your chest and one on your abdomen, to me, this really deepens the connection. And I can feel the movement and the expansion and contraction within my body. And it just, like putting my, I know that this is something I do a lot. I put my hand on my chest a lot because you are actually activating or stimulating your vagus nerve to some degree by just making this connection with yourself. And again, when you're placing it over your abdomen as well. So that's something else that you can add into it, just that connection with yourself. Like literally it feels a bit like you're giving yourself a hug and a bit of TLC. Yeah,
and as you say, it's so quick and simple, and it's something you've got with you always, every time, everywhere. You can do this literally when you are in the supermarket and you're stressed out because there are so many slow people in front of you. Or when your child is throwing a temper tantrum. Not the easiest moment, I do admit. And also it is possible and it is accessible. Or in any other kind of situation. And if you want to, like a little advanced practice, would be to simultaneously sense into your body. And like I prompted, like feel the connection to the ground and feel more of your body, because that will open up this peripheral vision and this peripheral sense, felt sense, which again will counteract the stress response. And then the breathing is even more open, is even more spacious. And exhaling twice as long, because likewise that will tell your vagus nerve all is safe. I've got the time to breathe out for a longer time than I inhale.
Absolutely. And going back to the temper tantrum, like this is something that you can teach your children. You can teach them how, because children are fascinated by their bodies, by your body, by, like, they are so curious. And I know that with my nieces and nephews, they're always so, so interested when I teach them something about their body or show them how they can do something. So they might not fully understand, but if you're telling them, oh, you breathe in and see how big you can get your belly, like give them and tell them, like, get hold of your rib cage and how far can you get your arms out? Like, make it a bit of a game with them, make it curious. And then you are literally teaching your children such an amazing skill, because if they know through fun times like how to do that, when they're in those moments where they're overtired, they're overexcited, they're not choosing the right words or the right actions, or like they're just in that space where like every mom knows this, like you can see your child when they're on the edge of like not fully being able to understand what's happening to them. You can then say to them, let's do some belly breaths. Like, let's do this. Let's, instead of saying, let's go and sit on the naughty chair or have time out or whatever it is, like you can still get them to go and do that. But whilst they're there, they've got something that they can do that is you can do it together, because if you've got a challenging child, your nervous system's going to be triggered as well as theirs. So it's something that you can do together. And it's not just for children, any human, partners, parents, whoever, like you can literally gift this to anyone. Yeah.
And I love how you make it so playful, because that's how humans learn. That's how information sticks, when we experience it through something fun and engaging and joyful. And we're, as you say, we're so much more likely to actually do it and use it when we're in a high stress situation, because we associate it with positive feelings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Thank you. If you have any questions on how to breathe like this, I do have a full-length video on just breathing if you're interested. But if you've got just any question or want to let us know about your experience with the breathing in this exercise, write us a comment. Or if you don't feel comfortable leaving something open on the internet, send us an email. We would absolutely love to hear from you also in terms of because there are a million other simple practices we can do to support our nervous system in times of crisis and challenging times. So if you've got more and maybe want us to expand on some of them in our podcast, let us know too.
Yeah.
We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to add, Amy?
I think exactly what you just said. Like, I would love anyone to share anything that works for them, breath wise, any breath work that they do. Yeah, and just have fun connecting to your breath. And thank you for being a firefighter. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And if you need more inspiration on the fun side, Amy can do that for you, because she's really good at inventing these simple, easeful, joyful tricks through the day.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for listening or watching or both. And we will catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye.